Thank you. Further to the adoption by the State of Gaza's ceasefire proposition, will the Minister advise whether there are any plans to provide aid to civilians in Gaza and what such aid would include?
Chief Minister.
Happens sometimes. Sorry about that. Since the start of the crisis last October, Jersey funds have supported the provision of essential medical supplies and emergency food and water. Jersey's overseas aid have made 2 grants in 2023, one to the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs of £200,000. And their mission is to mobilise and coordinate humanitarian action to alleviate human suffering, and to the International Health Partners of £80,000, and they enable better access to healthcare across the world. Following the escalation of the crisis, Jersey Overseas Aid has agreed to 2 more grants in 2024, one to the United Nations World Food Programme. They are the world's largest humanitarian organisation saving lives in emergencies using food assistance. Their grant is £150,000, and another grant again to the International Health Partners of £100,000, which will help address critical food and medical needs. The Government of Jersey, along with Jersey Overseas Aid, continue to closely monitor the conflict and support humanitarian efforts in order to contribute to the international community's collected efforts to work towards a just and lasting peace. Thank you.
Yes. Supplemental question, Ms. Miller.
Thank you. Has the Minister considered providing funds to the UNRWA in respect of its aid work?
Minister.
The Jersey Overseas Aid tries to select carefully. I'm sorry, I'm just looking for the criteria for how it selects who it donates to, and that's aimed currently for 2023 and 2024 outside of Gaza, 6 countries, 6 of the poorest countries in the world. So they tend to give money directly to work in those countries. I can't answer whether the plans for this year are to give directly to the UN or the other organisation you mentioned. But I do know that further aid above what I have already mentioned is being considered for Gaza through the United Nations, bear with me, through the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, to which it's already given funds. Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions for the Chief Minister on this topic? Sienna Springett.
I understand that the donations are being made. However, how will the Minister plan to visually show their support to those affected?
Sorry, could the member repeat the question, please? I didn't hear it.
I understand that donations are being made. However, how will the Minister plan to visually show their support to those affected?
Sorry, I couldn't hear the last part of the question. It's my hearing, it's not your voice.
I understand that donations are being made. However, how will the Minister plan to visually show the island's support to those affected?
It's visually show the island's support to those affected. Is that correct?
I'm not quite sure I understand the question, but Jersey's Overseas Aid produce thorough and detailed annual reports of the work they do. I'm not sure if that answers the question, but that's unless she wants me to stand in the Royal Square at the placard, perhaps.
Well, I was just considering when the Ukraine war started, there was a lot of visual support on the island, like flags were put up everywhere and candles were lit outside the States Chamber. I was wondering if anything like that was going to be done.
Thank you. Yes, I remember the show of unity from the island. As I understand it, Jersey's Overseas Aid don't work in that way, and I don't think there are any plans for them to promote what they do in a similar way to which we showed unity for the Ukraine. But it's certainly, I think Islanders can be proud of what we do through Jersey Overseas Aid. We contribute 0.27% of our GVA, that's the value of our economy, which in 2023 was approximately £14 million to helping poorer countries and people in need. So perhaps we should be a bit more visual about it. Thank you.
Ms Monero.
So the Minister mentioned further aid, and just how much is he considering to add on to?
How much money, I think, is the question, Chief Minister.
How much more money above the donation?
I'm not sure that's a matter for for Jersey Overseas Aid. I would think we were looking in tranches around somewhere between 80 and 200,000 pounds have been the level of grants we've made so far, so it will be in that sort of area.
Do you have a supplementary?